Alright, welcome back to part 2 of the volume exam paper questions. Hopefully you've watched part 1 already. So this question number 5 says the Victorians used stoneware hot water bottles. They were semicircular prisms as shown. The diameter of the bottle is 14 centimetres and the length is 30 centimetres. Calculate the volume of the hot water bottle. Now for this one, there's really kind of two things you can do. Either you notice, right, that this is a half cylinder. So that's one thing that you could notice. That's half of a cylinder like that. Or you deal with it in terms of a prism. So you've got this area at the front. We could work out that. And then you would multiply by how far back it goes. Alright, so there is really two ways to do that. Obviously, you can hopefully work out that I'm going to work out the area of a half circle. Okay, and then I'm going to times it by the height. That is very much the formula for a cylinder, and then I'm halving it. Alright, what I'm going to show you is the prism kind of idea, alright, the idea of using a prism, because the formula will be pretty straightforward. So let's think about volume of a prism. It's basically your area, your cross-sectional area, just kind of the area of the front face, times the height. Now, this can be a wee bit confusing. What that really means, it's the length that makes it 3D. So in this case, it's the 30 centimetres. So what we're going to do is we're going to work out the area for that half circle. Alright, so area of the half circle, formula for area of a circle is just pi r squared. So I'm obviously going to just do that and then half it. I'm not given the radius, I'm given the diameter. So to get the radius, I need to do 14 divided by 2, which is 7. Alright, and it's 7 centimetres. This was a paper 2, 1. We have question 1 for some reason. Okay, so it's a paper 2, 1. So substitute that in. It's going to be pi times 7 squared, and then dividing it by 2. And that's going to be 76. It doesn't tell us what to round to, so I'm just going to round to 2 decimal places. If a question doesn't, you can round appropriately, just make sure you do it correctly. So 76.969, that's given me, and I'm just going to do it to 2 decimal places. So it's going to be 76.97, and it's cm squared because it's area. Alright, and that was to 2 decimal places. Now what I'm going to do is use this formula here. So this is now going to be the area, which was 76.97, times it by the length that makes it 3D, and it's at 30. So 76.97 times 30, and that's going to be 2309.1. Alright, now very quickly, just to show you, right, I'm going to show you the other way that we could have done that. It could have been volume of a cylinder, which is pi r squared h, and then dividing that by 2. So that would have been pi times 7 squared times 30, and then dividing it by 2. And hopefully they'll give you the same answer. Okay, and indeed they do. So that would also be 2309. So those would work both ways, depending kind of how, I guess, you see the question initially. So that's our answer there. And that would be cubic centimetres for both of those. Okay, last question. For an end of term party, the teacher brought in a 2 litre bottle of undiluted orange juice. The 2 litre bottle of undiluted orange juice has to be mixed with 4 times the amount of water. Alright, so 4 times that amount of water. The teacher diluted the orange juice and then poured it into cylindrical glasses with a radius of 4 centimetres and a height of 10 centimetres. That's kind of shown in the picture on the left. If a space of 1 centimetre is left at the top of each glass, how many pupils will be able to get a glass of orange juice? Well, this is quite a tricky question because we've got a really a great kind of number of steps that we've got to go through for this one. Step one, really, I guess, is working out what the total volume of diluted juice is, because then that's going to be shared out. Well, we're told that we've got 2 litres of undiluted, and that's getting added to 4 times as much the amount of water, so that would be 4 times 2. So there's obviously 10 litres in total. I should say as well, this is calculator because it's paper 2. So there's 10 litres in total. Now, what we really want to work out then is what's the volume of a glass. A glass is a cylinder, so we're going to need to use the volume formula for a cylinder. And that is pi r squared h. Okay, so we're told that the cylindrical glasses have a radius of 4 centimetres and a height of 10. So we're told all that information. That's given though in centimetres, so our answer will be cubic centimetres. So pi r squared h, so it's going to be pi times 4 squared times 10. So shift pi times 4 squared times 10. That's going to be 502.65. Okay, and that would just be 2 decimal places. I'm just going to keep it at that just now because part A doesn't talk about any kind of rounding, and that's going to be cubic centimetres, alright? And what we want to know, now I've just noticed that I've actually made a wee mistake there myself. It says that a space of 1 centimetre has to be left at the top, so the actual height is going to be not 9, it's going to be, sorry, not 10, it's going to be 9. So I'm very quickly going to change that. So it's going to be 9. And then I'll fill in the answer. So it's actually 452 and it will be 39 to 2 decimal places this time. Okay, I'm not going to show you the rounding step simply because I'm going to run out of room. So sorry for that. That was obviously something that easily missed, but it says that a space of 1 centimetre is left at the top of each glass, so we need to take off 1 from the height. So that's the volume of 1 glass, right? And that would be for pair glass, just to put that in. Okay, so we're told that we've got 10 litres worth. That's how much goes into each glass. How many pupils are able to get one? Well, unfortunately, this is in litres, that's in centimetres cubed. So I really need to convert either or. So I'm going to make 10 litres into centimetres cubed. Do that, you times by 1,000, so it's going to be 10,000 centimetres cubed. Then I'm going to do 10,000 and divide that by the amount in 1 glass, so 452.39, and then I'm going to see how many pupils we'll be able to get one, so 452.39. Oops, I've missed out a 0, so it's 10,000, and I'm getting 22.1 and so on. Obviously though, that means that 22 pupils can get one, because we're not going to say that you get 0.1 of a pupil existing. So 22 pupils is our answer for that one. And that was part A, should put that as well. Part B says if all of the diluted orange juice is poured into 25 of these cylindrical glasses, so that each contains the same amount, so basically they're all being split up into 25, what depth of orange juice will be left, will be in the glass? So what we've got to do is work out how much would be in each glass if it's shared between 25, and then work back to get the depth, which is really just the height. So this is part B. So what we're going to do is share out our 10,000 centimetres cubed. I've already converted it. Okay, and share that out into 25 glasses to work out the volume that would be in one glass. Okay, so volume in one glass. Now remember, this is slightly different because the other one we were told it was getting filled up to within a centimetre of the top, so you almost kind of knew how far you were filling it up. In this one, we are just sharing it out, and then we're going to find out how much volume is actually in each one. So I'm doing my 10,000, dividing it by 25, and that'll tell me how much is in each glass, and that's 400, and it'll be centimetres cubed. That's the volume, and I want to work out what the height would be for a glass that has that in it. So that's my formula for volume of a cylinder. The radius is obviously still the same, and it was, just double check, it was 4 centimetres. And now we just need to work out what the height would be. So volume is 400 equals pi times 4 squared times height. A couple of ways you can do it. You can think about rearranging a formula, or you can just plug in the numbers. So 400 equals pi times, well, 4 squared is just 16, times height. So the height has to be 400 divided by this part here, the pi times 16. Like I say, you could do that first, pi times 16, and then get an answer, and then divide. Don't have to do it the way I've done it here. So the height is going to be 400 divided by pi times 16. I'm getting 7.95 and so on centimetres. In the question, we're told to round it to the nearest centimetre. So that rounded to the nearest centimetre is going to become 8. And that's our final answer for that one. So in that very final question we have done on volume, that's quite extensive. But for a question like that, just make sure that you are not skipping it. You might not be able to get the full final answer, that's fine, but just try and do all the stages. Lots of different stages there that everyone's definitely capable of doing. Just make sure you're not put off by looking at that question thinking I'm not really sure how to get a final answer, but just make sure you give the question a good go, because there's lots of different parts that you're able to do in a question like that. So that's our volume questions finished. So remember, there was a part 1 to go along with this part 2 video as well.